Welcome to the Vandal Insider podcast, presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. Let the team that takes care of the Vandals take care of you. Get the latest information on University of Idaho athletics you won't find anywhere else. It's all here on the Vandal Insider podcast, every fan source for all things Idaho athletics. Here's your host, Dennis Patchen.
Welcome to the Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast. Now, the next football game for the Idaho Vandals is not until late August, but it's a big week in Moscow, and we'll talk to head coach Thomas Ford about this year's transfer class. We'll also visit with former Idaho Vandal football player Christian Elliss, who's preparing to play in this year's Super Bowl. Also joining this week, men's basketball player Miles Klapper, as the Big Sky Tournament is little more than 4 weeks away. And women's tennis player Jessica Matthews tells us about her journey through tennis growing up in England and what it's like to be here now. This Idaho Vandal Insider podcast is presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. As the Vandals team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. Matt Taylor cares for elite athletes, weekend warriors, and everyone in between. Let the team that takes care of the Vandals take care of you. Welcome back to the Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast. We are still a couple of months away from spring football. We are half a year away from the start of the college football season. But Thomas Ford Jr., the head coach of the Vandals, joins us because it's another big time, and we want to talk about all the guys out of the transfer portal. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be back.
How was your holidays? Good?
Great. Didn't do a whole lot, which was kind of by design, but we got a little bit of time together as a family, so it was great.
I'm going to tell you right now, the older you get, the less you do, the more the cooler
right.
it is sometimes.
That's right.
Let's talk a little bit about the transfer portal. It has changed for this year's class with just only one window. How did that change things for you in trying to find guys?
I don't know that it necessarily changed anything. You know, we're still finding guys the same way. You still got to get into the transfer portal. We have PFF, and PFF has a great option to actually show guys in the portal. You can kind of sort them by position and things like that. But we're still doing it from PFF, Twitter, right, finding guys that are going into the portal. So I don't think finding them necessarily is different. Now, I think what the timing did for us was it just made it more realistic for a lot of kids. Like, hey, you got to get somewhere. Right, you can't wait until a spring window or wait, till later because you won't be anywhere till the summer. And so most of the guys want to be somewhere to get there for winter conditioning and spring practice. So I think it really helped us kind of speed up the clock for a lot of those guys.
I'm looking at the list, and we're going to go through all the transfer guys and let you talk about each one of them. But there's probably half a dozen guys that are in the recruiting area before. Is there a certain amount of previous relationships? Obviously, last year, Joshua Wood in the transfer portal was a guy you knew before recruited. Does that make it easier because you kind of already have vetted these guys when they were in high school? Yeah,
no question. It makes it a ton easier. Some of the guys that we took this year, we had relationships with from high school, either recruited them or, got them onto campus, some type of interaction where we, have gone through their high school coach. We've talked to their trainers. And so we've done a little bit of that background first. Still want to talk to their previous school. But at the end of the day, whenever you have a relationship, you feel like you know a little bit more about that guy. You're never going to be 100%. But when we have that information or we have that relationship, we feel like we know a little bit more of what we're actually going to get when they show up on campus.
How do you use the portal to build your roster? Is it to plug holes that you don't have? Maybe a guy leaves a year early or you lose a transfer and you don't have a guy ready to go? Because, there are specific positions it looks like you went after this year.
Yeah, there's no question. I think, in our program, we still really believe heavily in high school recruiting, developing guys. But when we have holes where, hey, we just don't, for example, at defensive end, right, we just didn't have older players. Right, we needed to bring some experience in to where at least, hey, these guys have played real-life college snaps, and it gives our younger guys a chance to continue to develop.
Okay. The three positions from my list and just putting together, as you said, one was defensive end, the other was corners, and a couple of running backs as well.
Yep.
So, I mean, were those the focus, the three spots?
Those were certainly three of the big ones. There's no question about it. Like we said, at defensive end, we graduated 3 seniors, and we lost another really good all-conference player to the transfer portal, so we really needed to plug those holes in a hurry. Corner was similar. We lost a guy to graduation, lost a guy to a transfer portal, and we were pretty young there in general. And so and especially with Coach Stalker, our new defensive coordinator, right, his system's a little bit different. We want to carry more DB types, and so, getting those corners was huge as well.
The other thing, and I find it interesting, is some are juniors, some are seniors in the transfer portal guys that you get. Does it matter to you? Would you like to get a junior as opposed to a senior?
You'd love to. You'd love to get as many guys that you can have for 2 years or plus as you can. For example, we got one guy from junior college that was a freshman, so he has 3 years. But really we got to try to get the best players that fit our program the best, because again, that doesn't always necessarily mean the guy that has, the unbelievable stats, right? It might be a guy that really fits what we're looking for either in our system or program, and more specifically the town of Moscow.
The first 2 guys I'm going to talk about are, because they're on the top of the list,
Yeah.
I'm going alphabetical,
Yeah.
but they came from the same house.
They did.
I mean, so you got the Augustus brothers, Javen and Jamarian.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited about those guys. They started their journey together at North Alabama. They're actually from Alabama. Started their journey at North Alabama. Kind of went there year one, wasn't what they were thinking. Wanted to get away from home. They actually went the junior college route, did a year of JUCO, and then Javen ended up at Coastal Carolina, and Mari ended up at Northern Iowa. So they kind of were apart last year, and I think one of the huge reasons we got them is because we wanted both of them, right? They were getting recruited by plenty of other schools individually, but I think we were like one of 2 or 3 schools that really recruited and really wanted both of them. Not as a calf and cow situation where, hey, we'll take the calf to get the cow.
Right.
But because we generally loved both of their films, loved them as people, and I think they're really good fits.
They're twins, right?
They are twins.
Which Idaho has an
Unbelievable.
It's like
it's
twins.
Crazy.
I think when I was doing the games the first time when Coach Petrino was here, I think there were 7 sets of brothers and 4 of them were twins.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's crazy. All right, let's go through. We're not going to go by position. We're just going to go through alphabetically on this list. DeMonte Bias, a young man from junior college. He's a running back.
El Camino. Yeah, so DeMonte comes from El Camino Community College. He was top 10 in all of California JUCO in rushing. He is unbelievably fast. He's got a great burst, and he also has some really good ability to return kicks. So we think that DeMonte won't just help us offensively, right? But I think he can really help us on special teams as a return player. So he's a quiet kid, but he's a really hard worker, very good student, and again, he's got the juice to take it from 70.
Another young man you got from Antelope Valley College, which is a junior college. He's from California, is a cornerback, one of many of the defensive backs in Damon Blanchard.
Yeah, so we call him PJ. PJ is a guy that really, he was a freshman qualifier at Antelope Valley, and he played extremely well. When we watched his film, we didn't realize he was only a freshman, and he had only been in school for like 6 months. But unbelievable talent. He's very long. He's probably 6'2" and some change. We got to get a little bit of weight on him. He's about 170-ish, 175-ish. But he kind of has some of the similar skill sets as a guy that we lost in Caleb Ricks. I think the biggest difference between those two players is PJ has much better ball skills. He was very good in taking the ball out of the air, and he's a guy that's here already. All these guys that we're talking about transfer-wise are already here on campus for the most part, but certainly PJ is one of those guys that's here and working.
How in the world, his name is Damon Blanchard. How in the world do you get PJ? It's just he just came in and said, "Coach, that's what they call me."
Yeah, that's his nickname. I got to dig deeper on that because I was pretty stumbled by that too. But yeah, he goes by PJ.
Okay, I'm before we even know that, I'm saying his grandma gave him that name because he loved peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah,
sandwiches.
there we go.
Let's talk about Isaiah Daniels. He's another.
Eshawn.
Excuse me, Eshawn Daniels. He's a cornerback from Bellevue.
Yep.
Obviously, one of those guys you probably had a relationship with, but he's transferring from Weber State.
Yeah, so Eshawn, I've actually known Eshawn since he was probably in 6th or 7th grade. His father, Damon Daniels, was a Vandal.
Yeah.
Played running back back in, I think, the late 80s, early 90s. And his dad had worked with my brother at FSP for basically since he started the program. And so I've really gotten to know Eshawn over the years. We recruited him out of high school. He played running back and corner, and we weren't sure what he was going to play. And so there was a little bit of iffiness on our part. I stood on 10 tables for him. I said we should take this kid no matter what. He's a great player, and he's a Vandal, alum, a legacy kid. But he played the last 2 years at Weber State, had an unbelievable year. I mean, he played probably 620 snaps, really a kind of a corner, but can also play nickel in the slot, and that's where we see him being the most valuable. We just did not have a player like this a year ago that could truly play man coverage in the slot. And Eshawn has not only done that, but he's done it at a high level in our conference. So he's a guy that we're really hoping can be a plug-and-play guy for us.
Made the kid happy, and you probably made Dad happy,
Oh, Dad
too.
was super happy. Dad actually came to one of our last games. I think he came to the UC Davis game, and he's on the sideline. I kind of joked with him, and I said, "Hey, welcome home." I said, and make sure Eshawn knows. He ever wants to come home, he's got a home here. And sure enough, Eshawn, I think went in the portal, kind of with hopes to go to a Group of 5 school, but really didn't get a lot of Group of 5 action. Had a ton of FCS schools that recruited him, and my brother obviously works really close with him still. And he told my brother, he said, "Hey, if I'm going to go to FCS, I want to go to Idaho and play for Thomas." Yeah. And so I think it's worked out really, really well for him, but certainly worked well for the Vandals as well.
This guy intrigues me, and I don't know anything about him just because of his size. He's 6'1", 242 pounds. He's a linebacker. He's a transfer from Cincinnati. He's out of Lacey, Washington. Darrell Gibson Jr.
Darrell Gibson is a freak athlete. So Darrell's a guy that I saw Darrell when I was an assistant coach here when I was going to watch Julian Lee. They were playing, North Thurston was playing Timberline, where Darrell went to school, and Darrell would have been a sophomore at the time. I said, who is this freaky-looking kid with these long arms that can run? Sure enough, he was a really good linebacker. Actually started his career at Idaho State in 2024, played a ton of snaps from them, so he had an opportunity to go to Cincinnati. Didn't play as much at Cincinnati, so he's looking like, hey, I want to get back closer to home. I want to play. Darrell and I had a phenomenal relationship. I really tried to get him here. Another guy that I kind of stood on the table for here with that staff, and we just ended up, having a linebacker commit before we got into the game with Darrell. But when I saw him get back in the portal, it was like a no-brainer. His high school coach had reached out, letting me know that he was going to get in. I touched base with Darrell as soon as he got in, and it was like no time had passed. It was like recruiting him all over again as a high school kid, and I think he really remembered that relationship, and we're very fortunate to have him. He's a guy that is long, physical, and I'm talking about this joker can run.
Yeah, well, we also haven't had a linebacker at 242 pounds here in a long time.
Yes, and we're not, guys, this isn't a 240 pounds with a beer belly. This is a rocked-up, long-armed, ripped, chiseled out of granite type of dude, so you'll definitely see him running around in the Kibbe Dome this fall.
All right. Here's the next young man is probably a guy you lied to saying it doesn't snow in Moscow. He's from Louisiana. Landon Hammond is a cornerback out of Tulane.
Yeah,
transfer.
So another guy that relationships matter. Coach TD had actually recruited him out of high school when we got to Idaho, and he was very interested in Idaho and then ended up getting an offer from Tulane, obviously Louisiana kid, New Orleans, right? He stayed at home, did not play much, and really wanted an opportunity to kind of get away from Louisiana with some people that he knew. And obviously with that relationship he had with Coach TD, we were able to get him. Landon's got a little bit of work to do. He's got to put a little bit of weight on, but he's an outstanding player. Great ball skills, has really good hips and speed. So if we can get a little bit of weight on him, I think he'll be able to help us as well.
You got a tight end, a junior college guy out of Rochester Community and Technical College. He's from Burnsville, Minnesota. That's Rochester, Minnesota, the school, not Rochester, New York. Jaden Homuth, who's 6'7", 230.
Yeah, and he's actually gained weight already. He's about 237 now since he got here. Our nutrition center is pretty good. Shout out to Francine Hoffman and the job that our nutrition center does. But, JJ is a vertical threat, right? If Vandal fans are looking for this guy to, have his hand in the dirt and block power. That ain't what he is. That's not the type of tight end JJ is. Now, he don't get me wrong. He's going to be physical and he can block, but he is a vertical threat. He's a guy that's going to really cause problems in the seams. I think he's a red zone matchup nightmare because he has excellent ball skills. And, he's a junior college All-American for a reason. Crazy part about JJ is he had committed to the Vandals after his visit. He came and watched us play, I think, Davis or Idaho State, one of our last 2 games. And so he committed to the Vandals after his visit. And then shortly after, before we signed him, he got an offer from Syracuse. I mean, this kid had offers from Miami, a couple other bigger schools. But JJ's, again, he's a relationship guy. He felt like he had never even talked to the other head coaches at a lot of these other schools. And even though, Syracuse kind of offered him in the midnight hour, even had some NIL money attached to it, he just felt more comfortable with the relationship he had with me as the head coach, obviously Coach Cross as the tight ends coach. And he also is high school teammates of Dylan Fisher. So that was another huge factor that brought him to Moscow.
The interesting thing is, and we'll continue on with this, but I just wanted to think, you have to be very careful if you're an athlete in the portal.
Absolutely.
When somebody comes to you at the last minute, it's probably because they lost somebody
yes.
and we need to fill this spot, but I don't know if this guy's going to play.
Yes.
You got to be careful with that.
Very much so, and I think JJ is one of those smarter kids. He understands it. JJ started his college career at Norfolk State, and so he's been through this process before of transferring and going to JUCO. And so, again, he was really looking for an opportunity where he knew he was going to have a chance to get on the field. And our opportunity that we had here for him, now obviously he's got to go do it and compete in all these things, but the opportunity to use a player like him, especially in Coach Shoemaker's offense, I think is going to be huge for him.
This guy had to be a running back with his first name. His name is Ferrari Miller.
Yes.
He's 5'10", 220, from Oakland, McClymonds High School, and Diablo Valley College. This I don't know anything about him, but his name fits him.
It does. Now, he does not look like a Ferrari. He looks more like a freaking battle tank. Ferrari, actually, he's up to 230 right now. And I was getting a little nervous, like if he's getting too heavy. And talking with Coach Cooper, it's like, well, no, he's still really explosive. And we could probably still trim a little bit of body fat off of him. So Ferrari is a guy that really is an every down back. When you watch his film, at 230 pounds, the Joker can run. I mean, he can really run. He's fast. So he's got good speed, catches the ball well out of the backfield. And when you see this guy's thighs, they're like legitimately 2 tree trunks. So he's thick as can be, powerful runner that has speed and can catch it out of the backfield. I'd be pretty shocked if he didn't end spring ball as, probably our starting running back.
Another guy you got is a young man from Graham Kapowson High School. Is where Joshua was. Central Valley transfer, Micah Robinson, a defensive back.
Yeah, so, Micah is a guy that I know really well. I actually recruited his older brother, Malachi, who ended up going to Eastern Washington when I was at Simon Fraser. And so I remember sitting in Micah's, downstairs rec room area, and Mike was probably a 5th grader, right? And so followed his career through. Didn't really recruit him much, obviously, because I was at Oregon State at the time. And he probably wasn't a guy that was going to be there for our program. But he went to Central Washington and was the Lone Star Conference Defensive Freshman of the Year, and also was a second-team all-conference corner. Now, he's going to slide in and play safety for us, but he's one of those kids that has great instincts, really good ball skills, and he's just feisty. I mean, he's one of those guys that's already kind of taken on some of that vocal leadership in the weight room, really encouraging his teammates. And, again, he's the 3rd GK Eagle that we have in the program. So we know that program does a really good job developing guys. We know they produce high-character kids, and obviously Joshua and Davion have been really good players for us, and we see no different from Micah.
Tyrone Stewart is another cornerback, North Texas University transfer. He's out of Mississippi.
Yeah, so Tyrone, he is a dude. Actually started his career at North Carolina, did 1 season in JUCO, and then went to North Texas. And again, Coach TD does such a good job of evaluating and finding guys. But he's another guy that we had evaluated last year, and we thought we had a chance at him. He kind of got North Texas late and ended up going to North Texas. Well, North Texas obviously had a coaching change.
Right.
Tyrone's like, I'm not leaving this to chance. I want to go, play for someone that I actually have a relationship with. And so we were able to kind of get him kind of that last weekend of the transfer portal visits. And I really believe Tyrain can be a plug-and-play starter for us.
Luke Teske is a defensive end. He's out of Canada, New Westminster, BC,
right.
but he went to New Hampshire. So
that's right.
So BC, New Hampshire, he'll love the cold weather here.
Yeah, he's gonna love it. So Luke is one of two transfers that's not here yet. Luke is a pre-med student and was 12 hours away from graduating. Now, if you ask Luke, he was just going to come to Idaho. He didn't care about credits transferring over. I'll just worry about it on the back. And I'm like, Luke, that's a bad decision. Okay? You can finish this degree. You can be ready to go for med school. We'll get you in the summer. And so Luke, I'm sure, is doing the workouts at New Hampshire's facilities over there. But he's another guy that has played a lot of snaps, right? I think he played over 200 snaps last year. He's played about 350 or so snaps in his career. Talking with their coaches, he would have played more, but he really played behind two guys that were probably the best two defensive ends the coaches ever had. And so Luke is a guy that kind of reminds me of Matthias McLean. He's a physical kid, high motor, can rush the passer, but also very good against the run as well.
I love what you did there by telling the kid you're more important than coming here and getting extra practice
yes.
in.
The snap, he's played a lot of football. So the snaps that he'll miss in the spring pale in comparison to the degree he's given up when he's 12 hours short.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
Because not every coach would do that. Good for you guys.
No, we care about our kids, and I want what's best for them. And certainly what was best for the Vandals and for Coach Ford was for him to be here in spring.
Right.
Not best for Luke. And so I want to make sure we take care of him, and I know when he comes, he'll really appreciate that.
Well, you might got a free doctor for life.
I know it. That's right.
Jackson Wang is a receiver. He's another junior college kid. He's out of Orange, California. Tell me about him.
Yeah, so Jackson just provides a threat that we just hadn't had in the receiving core. He's a big body. I mean, he's probably 6'2". He's 215. I mean, this guy looks like he seriously was sculpted out of granite. But he's a strong-handed guy and can stretch the field vertically. So he's really the type of guys that we like to be kind of that top receiver in the receiving core. But we won't get him until summer. So him and Luke are the only two guys out of our transfer class that are not here. But we look forward to getting Jackson in the summer.
Okay, the last guy on your list is R.B. Wilson, the fifth.
Yep.
You know he's tough because he's been named after four other guys.
Right.
You're a junior. You know how that
That's
goes.
Right. That's right.
6'4", 250 senior. He's from Henderson, Nevada, but he's coming from Texas Southern.
Yeah, so another connection we had with RB, and that's his given name. It's RB. I asked him, what does RB stand for? He goes, no, Coach, that's my name, just RB. I said, okay. But RB, I mean, another guy looks like a Greek god. I mean, him and the Augustus twins are just, three twitchy pass-rushing kids we did not have a year ago. RB's a little bit heavier than the twins, and he's played a lot of ball. He started his career in junior college of the Sequoias, actually played with Tim Jackson, our safety here, and that's where the real connection was. And, RB committed to the Vandals sight unseen. He was like, no, I know what you guys are doing there. Tim tells me great things. I want to come. And so the first time we got RB on campus was when he came for spring term. And he's a guy that actually played a year at Montana before he went to Texas Southern, so he has experience in the Big Sky. And again, he's going to be just a guy that we know we can count on, especially against the pass, but he's also very physical and twitchy in the run game.
We know that coaches recruit, and we know that you bring guys on campus and you use other people, academic people, administrators to help you recruit. But when you got a guy who's here and has played here, and he tells a guy, come, this is going to be a good place for you, that's got to make your job 1,000 times easier.
I don't even know if I could quantify how much easier it makes it for us, because these kids are speaking to their former teammate, friend, cousin, brother, right, with all sincerity. They know when a recruit hears it from a player, there is no filter, right? There is no, well, it's coach speak, or he's just saying that because he works here, right? No, that is the honest truth. And so our players have always and will continue to be our best recruiters. And so getting a guy like RB, I mean, you look at this list, plenty of guys, right? We talked about, Micah Roberson, we talked about Eshawn Daniels, right? We talked about Daryl Gibson. All those guys have friends on the team, guys that either played against him in high school, maybe they trained together, at FSP, for example, or, played against each other in high school, but those relationships are real, and they're going to trust those guys a heck of a lot more than they're going to trust any coach. I feel like we have very genuine and honest coaches here, but again, the players have nothing to lose by telling them the truth.
The spring window doesn't exist anymore. You can't get people after spring football. So what do you have to develop that maybe isn't on this list or returning on your football team to make you a playoff team this spring?
I think that's a common misconception. We still can get
get them, but nobody can go in.
Nobody can go in.
Yeah.
So we won't lose anybody necessarily to transfer portal. But if, for example, we had heaven forbid, a career-ending injury, or in a situation where a guy does just leave school, doesn't want to play anymore, we still could have the option of picking someone up. But right now we feel really good about it. I think the only other position we would look at is potentially one more wide receiver. But other than that, I feel pretty good about it. We've got pretty much every room stocked to its capacity, and I think we've got some really good talent coming back on this roster.
Thomas, we always appreciate your time. Thanks for getting us up to date. I know the spring football starts here in about 6 weeks, 7 weeks?
Yeah, about 7 8 weeks, yeah. Right after kind of spring break, and then we'll have a week in between.
There you go. Thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks, Dennis.
Spring football just around the corner. It starts on March 31st, and the Vandals season opener will be at Cal Poly this year on August 28th. This Idaho Vandal Insider podcast is presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. When he's not caring for the Vandals as team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. Matt Taylor provides the same MVP orthopedic care to our entire region. At Inland Orthopedics, our team is your team. Welcome back to the Idaho Vandal Insider podcast. A real honor and a pleasure to welcome this young man to the Idaho Vandal Insider podcast. Christian Elliss of the New England Patriots, the former Idaho Vandal who's headed to the Super Bowl. Christian, first of all, thanks for being here. Second of all, how cool is it to be going to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a huge blessing. God is good. I cannot complain. Everything is going well, and it's an amazing opportunity, not only to share my faith, but to share my talents, to get a win for our team, and to do something great that will be cemented in sports history.
I know that you knew you were going to the Super Bowl when the clock hit triple zeros and the confetti started flying, but when did it really hit you that you were going with an opportunity to win a world championship?
That last play by Drake, when he scrambled out, he got the first down, and that's when I knew 100% that God's given us the opportunity, and it was excitement, it was joy, bittersweet for me, for sure.
Yeah, because your brother was on the other team.
Yeah, it was definitely tough, because it was awesome that one of us would be able to go to the Super Bowl. But it's not something I people ask me like, oh, is it like an amazing experience? I'm like, yeah, it's so much fun. But it's not an emotion I ever want to feel again. I'd rather go the rest of my career without playing against Caden, Jonah, or any other brother I have in the league in an important game like that. Regular season, it is what it is at that point. But when it comes to like something that it means something, it's a championship game. I'd rather not do that one again.
Yeah, I know how tight your family is. I was privileged to call all of your brother's games and all of your games in college, and I got to know your dad. Was there the joy obviously was there, but was there real hurt, the fact that your brother wasn't going and he got so close?
Yeah, no, honestly, my heart broke. I couldn't even celebrate at the end. The first thing I did, I ran out to Jonah, and I'll keep what I said to him between me and him, but just had words for him, and as we were talking, it was it was just heartbreaking for me. Yeah, because I know how much he puts into it. I know how much he wants it, and so that one was hard for sure.
Your family's been around the pro game for a long time. Your dad your dad played a long time, was a great player. You and your brothers are playing in the league right now. What would winning a Super Bowl mean to you and an extension to your family?
You know, it'd be amazing for us. You know, it would be just a blessing. It's it's something that no one's ever done in our family. I've gone to a Super Bowl, lost the first one. I was only on special teams in that one, so it was a limited role. But you know, this time being on defense and um, having more of an impact on the game. You know, I think it's a great opportunity to showcase my skills and to give God the glory.
Do you feel fortunate to get a second chance? Because obviously you're the only one to go, and now you get another chance to win this game.
Yeah, I told people last time I do feel fortunate, but I told people the last time I played in Super Bowl, like after you play in it and after I lost that one, I was like the feeling I had after was like I never want to do this again. Like it was like oh my goodness, like I hate that I got to this point, our team got to this point, and we couldn't finish, we couldn't follow through, and you know seeing the other teams confetti fall. That was especially hard because you know you're so close to glory, you're so close to cementing a legacy that at the time I was like I don't ever want to come back. Like if this is like what's going to happen. Obviously I got over that feeling really quick and I was like forget that. Like I got to go back. But yeah, no, I this is just another great opportunity and very exciting for me and my family.
I've talked to guys who have played, former Idaho Vandals who have played in this game. Ryan Phillips played, he lost one. Jerry Kramer's played, won the first two. And I've talked to guys about this game. What is it about this game? How can you mentally prepare for this game to let yourself win and not lose the mental battle?
I think first and foremost it comes down to playing free. Like you can't play this game if you're over analyzing. You can't play this game if you're worried about what other people think of you. It's the biggest stage in the in football world, right? Like there's millions of people watching. You can't let that freeze you. At the end of the day, it's just another child's game. What their offense does is something that they've shown all year. They'll have a few a few change ups here and there, but they're going to have their staple plays. And so for us, it's just about watching film, getting comfortable with their opponent, and you know, going from there. If you like, for me, it's like if you feel nervous before in the middle of a game or uncertain, it just means that you didn't prepare enough. My best games is when I felt so at peace on the field because I know one, I put in the effort, and then two, I'm playing for an audience of one, giving all glory to God and letting the dice fall where they may, and leaving it all out there.
Just to peel the curtain back a little bit on you today, you're headed to the Super Bowl, you're playing for the championship, but today you had the kids at home by yourself, right?
Yep, I did.
Mr. Mom goes to the Super Bowl. How'd that work out for you today? Okay?
Yeah, no, it went great. I love taking care of my kids. They're such a huge blessing to me. They've changed me as a man. Um, Obviously, you know, I love them to death, and I love having this time. You know, the week before we get a week off, well, not off, but you know, we get a week to just prepare for the game, and then next week would be actually practicing and doing whatever we're doing. But I love taking the time and opportunity to be able to hang out with my kiddos.
Yeah, you've been to this game before. Can you help teammates who've never been to this before?
Yeah, no, I think everyone has experience. I think me and Milton played in one. I don't know if anyone else has. Milton's won one. But yeah, I think being here and being able to share experience with guys, and it definitely can help and get guys prepared mentally. Because I think that's one of the biggest parts of this game at this stage is the mental performance of it.
Yeah, you talked about, getting ready for the game and practicing next week and later this week, but, the early part of the week is scrambling to get tickets for family. I mean, how many tickets did you have to get?
Yeah, we've got to limit it. Not everyone can come. But I'm gonna make sure everyone who's there, is someone that, has affected me one way or the other, or, has helped me along this journey.
Okay, so you know your mom and dad. Who's going to be more
Yep.
nervous watching this game? Your mom, who's never played football before, or your dad, who was a great player in the NFL?
I think honestly, my mom. I think it's her personality. I think she's gonna be a little bit more worried. My dad's a little bit more stoic in that area.
Well, your dad's looking at you as a football player. Your mom's looking at you as that's my baby out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Christian, when you think back on your Vandal career, did you ever think that was going to lead you to where you're headed to coming up here in San Francisco to play for a title?
I always knew I had the ability to play. I didn't know if I was, I tell people this all the time. A lot of it is like, yes, it's your effort, it's your hard work, it's all that. But sometimes it's also a little bit of luck, and you got to be able to overcome adversity. My first year in the league, I was cut like 6, 7 times, and I was talking to my dad, and I was like, "Dad, is this game really for me?" And he was like, "Well, do you think God has you done in this game?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "Well, do you still love the game?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, "Then I don't think you're done. Keep going." And got the opportunities I did, and took advantage of them. And kind of just went from there. But all started at Idaho with when people looked at me and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play in the NFL." People, some people believed in me, of course, but some people looked at me like, "Yeah, okay, like you were at a tiny school, and we'll see how far you make it."
Can you tell us what this feeling is like to get to this game with a team that had such a remarkable turnaround this year?
Honestly, it's been amazing. I love this locker room. I love our group of guys. I've been on multiple teams in the NFL, and I've never felt this way about my teammates before, where it's actual brotherhood. It's not just, you don't just say that. Where I come to work and I get to hang out with my best friends, basically. So I'm very happy for this locker room. We've dealt with stuff on and off the field together as a unit. We were there for each other. Cried together. Got here, and I couldn't be more happy to do it with this group and for our coach. Honestly, Vrabel has been an amazing mentor. He's been an amazing coach, and he holds us to a higher standard, and that's why we're here.
Christian, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us on the Idaho Vandal Insider podcast. It's always a pleasure to talk to anybody in your family. We appreciate you doing this. Good luck in the Super Bowl, and thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Dennis.
Ellis is just one of 17 Idaho Vandals to play in the Super Bowl and is one of just 5 to play in multiple games. Mark Schlereth has the most, the only Vandal to play in 3. Today's Idaho Vandal Insider podcast is presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. As the Vandals team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. Matt Taylor cares for elite athletes, weekend warriors, and everyone in between. Let the team that takes care of the Vandals take care of you. Welcome back to the Idaho Vandal Insider podcast. We are now joined by Miles Klapper, who is a member of the men's basketball team. Thanks for being here. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing good.
Let me ask you a question. You grew up in a warmer climate than here. Is there a hesitation for a young person, doesn't matter, male or female, doesn't matter what sport they play, to come to a place that's colder than where you grew up? Was there any of that with you?
For me, not totally. An interesting thing is I actually went to prep school in an even colder climate in Bridgeton, Maine. So,
well, then you didn't even bring a coat.
Yeah. When I was making the college decision, I was like, I'm already used to this. Like,
okay,
let's go.
I was wondering if that has because I've been around a lot of young people who want to leave the area. I want to go somewhere where it's warm. Mm-hmm. And I always wondered if on the other side of the coin, if you're coming the other direction, if it's like, man, I don't know if I want to go there, especially if you don't grow up in snow. Now, this winter has just been a complete aberration of everything I've ever known.
For sure.
But yeah, so there wasn't that.
No, I mean, I think maybe I took it for granted a little bit, just always growing up in that type of environment.
Yeah.
I think now that I've lived here for a couple of years, I definitely start to appreciate the summer more, appreciate the warm days. But yeah, I mean, it's just something I've gotten used to.
You're from the Bay Area, so that's a big community.
Yep.
What was it like when you first came to Moscow, and what it's been like as you have learned to live here?
It's been awesome. I mean, I think from the very first summer I got here, I just loved it. Going to the farmer's market in the summer, going to play golf at the golf course, like it offers so many things aside from basketball, along with just the community that's so supportive, so kind. So, I mean, it's been a really great fit, and I think now that I'm really acclimated to it, it starts to feel like home at a certain point.
Are you a good stick? Can you hit it a little bit? Or
I'm working on my game. I'm okay.
What's your handicap?
Okay. I would say I'm probably a 15 to 20.
Okay, good.
So,
I can still talk to you there.
Yeah.
It's not like Jack Payne, right? Who's like a
no. He's a different level.
Yeah. How did you fall into golf? Was it something you played before you got here?
I started playing probably my senior year of high school, very recreationally.
Yeah.
And then, I think, once I got out here, it was just something to do in the summer. Started playing back at home a little bit more. So just a good thing to have a hobby outside of basketball.
Obviously, as a college basketball player, you're a great athlete. How did basketball become your game? Where did the off ramp go that you said I'm putting the rest of them on the side?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it was heavy baseball for me, other than basketball. But I honestly just had the most fun playing basketball. To me, I enjoyed baseball, but it was a little slow at times. My ADHD sometimes couldn't handle it. I was just grabbing seeds in the outfield. The ball would come to me, wasn't ready. So I just liked the faster pace of basketball. I liked being able to go to the park and just pick up a ball and play. So it was just the most fun for me.
I was going to ask you, what position did you play? Outfield, all of them, one of them?
I played a little bit of everything. Mostly, like, once I got to my later years, it was first base and pitcher, just because I'm a lefty. So those were my two.
Did you ever, were there ever the thoughts of going to college to play baseball?
No, I actually stopped in 8th grade. So once I got to high school.
You jumped off early for one sport.
Early. It was all basketball in high school.
Does your family play hoops? Did your mom, your dad, was there anybody, or was that just your deal?
No, my dad played, I think, just for fun. He's always enjoyed the game. My mom went to college for soccer. So it wasn't a huge thing in my family, but like I said, it was just the sport that I enjoyed the most. Kind of fell in love with.
How long? So your mom played soccer in college. How long did you play soccer?
I played soccer again up probably until 8th grade, right up before high school.
Any good?
I was okay. I would say I was a little better at baseball, but soccer was just fun because it was all my friends playing and getting out in the sun.
You're a tall kid. You're put together. Did the football coaches give you pressure about coming out for football?
a little bit my freshman year.
Yeah.
That's probably a regret of mine. I wish I had tried it out maybe for a year, but
you made the right path.
Sure.
You're playing in college. When you got that door open in college to play basketball, what was that feeling like?
It was a dream come true, honestly. Like that was what I was working for my whole life, was to have an opportunity to play at this level. And I think once you get there, it's like a full reset moment. All your goals shift, and obviously you're grateful to be there, but it's just a complete reset. You're starting from the bottom again, and then you got to work your way up.
You came here without a scholarship,
I
right?
did. Yep.
And earned a scholarship.
Yep.
So, what was that like? Was there pressure? Did you feel pressure, like I got to perform so I don't be a burden on my family to pay for this?
Not necessarily. I think when I was talking to Prib during the recruiting process, it was kind of one of the situations where it was like, for a year, you're going to be a walk-on, but we think that you're going to be a scholarship guy after that going forward. So I knew that the staff had belief in me, but obviously once I got here, I was trying to prove myself every single day. I was going as hard as I could, and I definitely had a lot of belief in myself.
What's it like to play for a coach who's the same as you? He walked on and then earned a scholarship.
For sure.
And then,
For sure. It's been great. And just getting his insight, getting his advice. Obviously, he's someone that has actually been through it, gone through the day-to-day motions of it all. So it's just awesome to have someone to relate to.
What's the hardest thing about being a young college basketball player? Is it not maybe playing as much as you used to in high school and in your case in a prep school?
For sure. I would just say that just the mental grind of it. In high school, I feel like the good players are separated much more clearly from, maybe your average player. But at this level especially, everyone's really good. So it becomes kind of more like a mental game of trying to get separation. And I think a college season is just such a roller coaster. You got long travel trips. You're playing great teams. Guys have slumps. Guys play well. So I think it's just the mental aspect and trying to keep a level head through the stuff that you can't control.
Do you like playing on the road?
I do. Yeah, we had a really tough travel day back, which wasn't fun a couple days ago. I'm sure you heard about that.
I did. I did not fly back with you guys. You guys went through Portland. I went through Seattle. And what time did you? And you left. You got up at 5:15 Mountain Time. What time did you walk into your place here in Moscow?
Probably 1:15, 1:30 at night. So it was a full day of being in the airport, but.
Well, at least you won on Saturday. That made it a little bit
100%.
A little bit easier. Do you have a favorite place to play on the road? One of those you like when you walk in, you go, I know these people are going to be jazzed. This is going to be fun.
That's a good question. I mean, there's a bunch of places. Obviously, for me, it's nice going to Sacramento just because my family can make that drive pretty easily. Montana's always a fun atmosphere. I think for some reason I like Portland State. I like their arena, just being in a kind of more of a city, which is a little different than most Big Sky schools. Really everywhere has its own unique.
Well, Sac State is a different building this year.
We're
not in
I'm excited to see it.
That small high school gym that they play in. It'll be very interesting. Obviously, Miles, when you come to school, you not only just a basketball player, but you go to school. What are you studying?
I'm studying business right now. I'm in the business administration program, which I recently switched into. A couple of my teammates are in there, so it's been fun.
What do you want to do then? I mean, when basketball is over, have you narrowed it down, or are you still kind of a shotgun blast of what you're trying to figure out?
Yeah, I mean, I've given it some thought, but I mean, there's just so many options that I haven't really set my mind on a particular path. So just trying to keep my options open and keep exploring different possibilities.
Obviously, you redshirted a year, so you've got 5 years to complete your college degree. Is there a hope to get it done sooner and then start working on your master's degree?
For sure. I think the plan was always to try to graduate in 4 years, which I'm still on pace to do. And then in terms of like the master's, I don't really – there's so many ways I could go with that. So it's something I'm still giving thought, but who knows?
It's amazing. I talk to guys that go to school, and they go to school to play a sport, guys and gals. But circumstances happen along the way that it's like all of a sudden I have a degree and I have a master's degree. I mean, it's like you walk out of school and it's like my sport, if I play professionally, isn't going to pay me much. Mm. But because of all my degrees, I can really get a really great job.
For sure. Yeah.
When does that click into your head? Because I'm sure it wasn't when mom and dad dropped you off and you stood outside and they waved as they were driving back to the airport, and all of a sudden, holy cow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still not there. To me, it still feels like – I still have 2 years left, but I still almost feel like a freshman, sophomore just because I have so much ahead of me and it's gone by so quick, So I think it'll set in eventually, but even the idea of just, getting a normal job is still something that scares me a little bit. I don't want to stop hooping ever. But
Good. Don't be an adult. Be a kid as long as you can hang on to that.
Yeah.
Obviously everybody, when they play college basketball, doesn't matter what Division I program you're playing at, because you got a chance to go to the tournament. It does not necessarily work that way in football or other sports. But what would going to the NCAA tournament mean? Not to this team, because we all know what it means to the team. What would it mean to you personally to know that you're going to participate in March Madness?
I mean, that's been my goal since day one, and I think a big reason why I wanted to play at the Division I level was to have a chance to go to the March Madness, the big tournament. And on top of that, like you said, just what we've done with this program over 3 years, still, just the beginning, but we feel like we're ready to take that step, and that's all of our goal collectively. So just to be in that atmosphere, to do it for the town of Moscow, it would be everything.
It's kind of amazing. You're one of those guys that was here on the ground floor. I mean, you were here day one with Alex, and you kind of know all the trials and tribulations of getting to where you guys are right now.
Absolutely.
Miles, we appreciate the time. Continued success. The Big Sky Tournament just around the corner. We appreciate you being here, and I'm praying with you that no more 16-hour days to travel home. You could almost driven faster.
100%.
I know. We appreciate the time. Thank you, Miles.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Busy basketball week for both the men and women. The Vandal men will continue a 4-game road trip. Thursday night, they'll be in Bozeman at Montana State. And then late Saturday afternoon tip in Missoula against the University of Montana. The women will be back home this week. A huge game on Thursday night. It's the battle for first in the Big Sky Conference against Montana State. Then Saturday afternoon in the ICCU Arena, the Vandals will host the Montana Grizzlies. This Idaho Vandal Insider podcast is presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. When he's not caring for the Vandals as team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. Matt Taylor provides the same MVP orthopedics care to our entire region. At Inland Orthopedics, our team is your team. Welcome back to the Idaho Vandal Insider podcast. We are now joined by women's tennis player Jessica Matthews. Thanks for being here. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Just finished practice this morning, so ready to begin the day.
Okay. Are you a morning person then?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't before I came here, but I kind of stayed on the jet lag of England, which worked in my favor. And now we've been waking up at 6 pretty much every morning, so it's quite nice.
Okay. All right. Yeah, if people didn't know by your accent, you said you're from England. How big is the sport, obviously, with the most famous facility in the world? Sorry, U.S. Open. Sorry, Australian Open. Sorry, French and Italian Opens. Wimbledon. How big is tennis in England right now?
Yeah, tennis is huge. It's been like upcoming the past 10 years, I'd say, and it's definitely one of the biggest sports after soccer, which we call football.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's huge. We have indoors pretty much every small town, village. So yeah, it's really nice to see it's coming, especially within Europe, but it's nice.
How did you fall into tennis? How was that your sport?
So when I was about 5, my parents put me in every single sport you could think of. And I was doing a different sport every day, just trying everything out, instruments, acting, drama. And I kind of had to narrow it down to 3 sports. So it was field hockey, tennis, and swimming. And then I kind of just thought, it's 3 is a lot. And you have to kind of, as the years went on, I narrowed it down to just swimming and tennis. And then I just loved tennis so much I couldn't stop.
Okay. That when you said 3 sports, I was waiting for you to say basketball or soccer, and neither one of those two.
No, it's kind of odd. Basketball's not that big in England. Soccer is, definitely, but basketball really isn't that common of a sport to play. I did play it, but because I'm quite tall, I was put with the boys' squad, and then it was all the elbows and pushing and shoving, and I just it was too much.
Are you, for a female tennis player, are you tall, considering all the rest of the people you play against?
I would say, yeah, a little bit taller than average. I'm about 5'11", 6 foot, so it's really great for the serve and strong reach across the court. But as a whole, tennis players tend to be a lot taller than a lot of the sports.
So when somebody asks you how tall you are, there's two interesting numbers. One's 5'11", the other's 6 foot. I know for women sometimes they don't want to be 6 foot tall. So what do you tell people when they ask you?
I think I'm 6 foot, and I tell people I'm 6 foot. But then when the measuring tape comes out, they tell me I'm 5'11".
Okay, all right. Well, that whatever, however you're comfortable. So the fact that you say you're 6 foot means you're comfortable at 6 foot.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great thing. It's such an advantage to have, especially on the court, and just to see someone in doubles practice as well, covering most of the tennis court with just the height is just perfect advantage to have.
Okay, obviously you played a lot of tennis before you got to the University of Idaho, but one of the things that I was told and I read up on you've actually played at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Okay, you just didn't just break in and, you and a friend sneak in and hit like 3 balls and then run out of there before you got caught. You played in Wimbledon juniors.
Yeah, I played the juniors 4 years ago when I was 17. And then the past 3 summers, I've been the official women's hitting partner for the actual players, which has been such a cool experience. I just get to play with anyone who needs a warm-up or anybody who needs to practice the day before a match. And you play on all of the different courts other than center court. And yeah, you've got the crowd and everybody there. It's just amazing.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
How did you fall into that job?
It was actually during the juniors. So I was playing the match. I lost 10-8 in the 3rd set tiebreak. But then afterwards, this man came up to me and kind of just said, we'd love to have you here as a hitting partner. We've actually never had a female before. You're English, you're local from London. Are you interested? And then obviously I was thinking, when can I start? So yeah, then after that I did the 1st year and then the 2nd and then the 3rd.
So this is like something you're not giving up?
No, I think this summer I'm looking to go back again and then kind of go into the Queen's tournament, which is another grass court tournament in London. But it's just such an amazing thing to be a part of, and especially being the first female, I feel like it's such an achievement.
Yeah, the Queen's tournament is the one right before Wimbledon, right?
Yeah, and it's the club I've been training at, so it's like really nice home feel.
What's it like to play on grass? I've seen it. I've walked on a clay court before.
Yeah,
but I've never been on a grass court, and certainly never have hit anything. What's it like to play on that surface?
it's super different to definitely clay. I'd say it's complete opposite. It's like really fast, low bounce. It's actually perfect for the taller players like myself who just kind of hit the ball with a lot of speed, like to come to the net and finish the points early. But it's kind of nice because, if you fall over, you've got a nice cushion. And yeah, great for like the short points. It's really nice in summer, and pretty much every tournament in summer is on grass court in England.
I just watched about 3 days ago a thing on the McEnroe Borg thing and the Wimbledon and the unbelievable match, and then McEnroe beats him, and then he basically retires right after. What's it like to be at that facility? It's watch amazing. Or even play a match?
Yeah, it's just so magical. Like seeing the tradition there, they kind of try and keep things from all of the past years coming down, so you can really see all the past winners and all the competitors. They really treat the English players especially super nice. So it's just such an amazing thing to be a part of. You've just got, everything is like so attention to detail. So you've got like the strawberries and cream, and then you've got the center court, and it just really ranges across from all the ball kids. Everything is so perfectly taken care of.
The other thing is, and interesting that not a lot of Vandal athletes have, that you have, is you have a giant social media following, right?
Yeah, I guess. I think it's just built over the past years. I've been doing a little bit of work with Sky Sports. I did some acting on Amazon Prime, which helped a lot, which was super random as well. But yeah, just throughout the years.
What'd you do for Sky Sports?
So I was presenting and hosting at Wimbledon again during the hitting partner. Like when I wasn't playing, I would go to the Sky Sports like headquarter base and then just join them. We'd commentate on the matches, court one. We'd talk to players, interview them. It was like so amazing to be a part of. And then following that, cricket is another huge sport in England, and there was the 100. So they asked me to go and commentate alongside 3 of the biggest legends in the cricket world, which was so amazing again to be a part of. And I'm not too much information about cricket. I don't really know everything. So just being there again was like amazing.
Do you think this television broadcasting is something that's going to be part of your future?
Yeah, I think definitely. It's something I'm super interested in. It's super fun just going to the events and talking to people, hearing different opinions, perspectives, and just how people have shown their story. So yeah. Okay.
You've covered tennis. You covered cricket. Is there a sport you really want to cover?
Yeah.
You really want to go to?
I think golf. I really like golf, and golf is also huge in England again.
Yeah.
So that would be so amazing. Yeah, just I'll see where it goes, but that would be a dream.
F1?
Yeah, that too.
Okay. You got them all there.
Yeah.
Okay, I always ask this question of young people when they or athletes here. How did you get to the University of Idaho? Now, I've talked to people from Boise, and this is where my mom and dad went, or I really liked the town. The coach was great. You don't have any of that, okay? You're from England.
Yeah.
How in the world did you wind up here at Idaho?
Yeah, well, it was actually, so I'm a junior now, and my freshman and sophomore year, I was at the University of Iowa, so the Midwest, and I always wanted to go to the West Coast because just so much nature here, so beautiful. So then when I spoke to Sorna, the head coach, it was just so amazing. She was so supportive, super nice to just talk to, and she kind of talked me through how she wants to progress me as a player, and it just, everything sounded perfect. The girls are so nice, and just like my best friends. So yeah, it's been amazing joining here, and I'm having so much fun.
What do you think of the town of Moscow and the surrounding area if you like the outdoors, like you said?
I really like it. There's so much nature here. You have like everything from the mountains to small rivers, like the Arboretum even, I go there all the time. Just so much nature, which I didn't really find in the Midwest and definitely not in England. So seeing the blue sky every day is just like so nice compared to the daily rain in London.
Yeah. Well, in the Midwest, you're going to watch your dog run away for 3 days. I mean, that's just it's so flat. When you came here and saw them, obviously Had you come here before? Had you been anywhere on the West Coast before?
Yeah, I'd been to Washington. We
Okay.
played UW and also Oregon and then down to California. It was the only trip that I'd done, which was a road trip. So you really got to see the surroundings, and I really saw everything just looking out the window for hours and hours, and thought, this is so nice. Definitely nothing you get in England or the Midwest.
What'd you think of the mountains?
I really like them. They're so beautiful.
Yeah.
Just so nice. Everywhere you look, you can see them.
You're lucky you came a year we don't have any snow. That's
I know, I've heard it's been a strange winter.
It's as strange as I've been. I've been living here more than 40 years, and this is the strangest winter
Really?
ever. Yeah, it's
Wow.
just it's crazy. Idaho is Idaho as an athlete got you what you wanted so far?
Definitely. I think the support system here is so amazing. Everything from the advisors and academics to the teammates that I have, it's just everything that you need. Everyone here has such a home feel. We're super close with the men's team. It's just so nice to have people around you who are supporting, but also pushing you every day. I think it's so important to have such a good balance. And yeah, everything here is it's great. It's super fun.
What do you think of American football?
I still haven't got my head around it. 3 years later, I'm still trying to get ahead of the rules, but I can watch it and kind of have a rough grasp of what's going on, but really I have no idea.
Okay, I'll teach you football if you teach me cricket, because
Okay,
I am where you are with football.
Okay.
I've watched it. I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
I know you throw the ball and you try to knock the sticks off
Yeah.
without the guy, but I can't figure it out. So you and I will talk about that later. What are you studying? What do you want to?
Economics.
Yeah, academically, what do you want to do when tennis is over?
Yeah, so I'm doing Bachelor of Science in Economics, and then I just changed my minor to marketing. So I'm kind of looking, again, with London, the banking system there is so huge, just to have as a backup, because, tennis would be the dream, and even broadcasting, something with presenting. But then as the backup, I think economics, something, insurance, something like that would be nice to have just on the side.
Was it hard to come to the United States?
No, not when I was applying a few years ago. It was...
No. I'm saying to leave your family behind.
Yeah, I found it quite tricky at the beginning because I hadn't really been so far away for such a long time. So I had homesickness, but I think as the time has passed, I've actually learned to love it here. I went home for Christmas and I just couldn't wait to be back here again.
We'll cut that out on the one we send to you so you don't get your mom and dad that stuff. Was it hard for mom to send you?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a younger sister, so she's still at home and she's going through the same process with tennis and US colleges. But I think it was difficult. We got a dog and a cat just for people to be around the house.
Well, yeah, wait till your sister leaves. That's
I know.
that's the big one.
I know.
That's the big one. What would it mean for you to win a Big Sky championship?
It would mean everything. It would be so much fun. We talk about it with my teammates all the time, just how every day we're kind of working towards that and pushing towards the conference championships. I think everyone is doing the right work at the moment to put in everything we need. So I think we can do it, and I believe we can. Just time will tell.
We appreciate the time. Thank you so much. It was fabulous to talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
I forgot the last question I need to ask you. Who's the most famous person you hit with?
Oh.
Or maybe the wow moment of who you hit with. I can't believe I'm hitting with this person.
There's so many. I think
there's so many. There's so many.
Oh, I would have to say I hit with Venus Williams consistently. She would ask for me to come back and hit specifically with her, which was amazing. But then Serena was actually there as well, which was just incredible. So I hit with her a tiny bit. It wasn't a proper hit because she wasn't playing that year, I don't think. But yeah, just sharing the court with both of them and having Venus specifically ask me to come back the next day, and the next day was just it meant so much to me. I think it would just be something I'll remember forever.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
I want her tomorrow.
Yeah. And then a couple courts down, you had Federer playing with his children. So it's just really another world during the Wimbledon Championships. I think it's something you never get to experience.
Pretty cool to get behind the curtain like that.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Jessica Matthews joining us. Thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
That's going to do it for this week's Idaho Vandal Insider podcast. Thanks to all of our guests for joining us this week. Don't forget to join us every week on Tuesday night for the Idaho Vandal Coaches Show. Live from 42 Bar Kitchen in Moscow, 6 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Mountain Time, again on Tuesdays on the Idaho Vandal Radio Network. I'm Dennis Patchen saying thanks for listening. We'll see you next time for another edition of the Idaho Vandal Insider Podcast.
This has been the Vandal Insider Podcast, presented by Inland Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine Clinic of Moscow and Pullman. Let the team that takes care of the Vandals take care of you. Get the latest information on University of Idaho athletics you won't find anywhere else with the Vandal Insider Podcast. From in-depth conversations to game previews, the Vandal Insider is every fan's source for all things Idaho athletics.